We up, Frankie?
Yeah, we're on.
All right, we're back up again. Here we are. Buenos dias, everybody. How are we today? Doing good. Had a little bit of some weather issues here in Dallas, but it looks like by and large, I think we cleared it okay. Might be some flooding out there, but what are you going to do? Be safe. Keep it safe if you guys are in the area. All right, so we got some questions going on. Already got a lot of likes. That's good. We obviously like when people like the live. Helps it get out there a lot quicker. Spreads the message. If you guys do need our help, Mom's in the house. Good to see that. If you guys do need our help, obviously, we're always open for consultations. Give us a call, 833-733-7878. We do consultations in person in our offices. We also do them virtually or on the phone. They're free consultations for all. So I know we're filling up fast, so when you call, obviously you want to take the first available one that you're available for, and we'll be happy to talk to you. We take cases all over the United States. This is a federal law, so we can take cases in all U.S. jurisdictions. All right, let me fix my tie. Here we go. Had a little something funny going on with it there. Look at that. Throughout the day, it kind of gets a little wrinkly. All right, let's see what's going on. So I see a lot of you guys have some questions already posted. I'm going to try to start at the top and get to as many. It looks like North Carolina's in the house. That's good to see. Let us know where you're from. We like to see where everybody's from. We are located in Texas. I see that question. We have several offices in Texas. Look at attlaw.com. You'll find a list of our offices. But we also take clients all over the United States. So if you're out there, need some help, that's what we're here for. All right. All right. Updates on DACA. So yeah, DACA. So they're not taking first-time DACA applications. Looks like Mel Rubio, you're asking that question. They're not taking new DACA applications. They're only taking renewals of existing DACA applications. It's still under a court injunction, a federal court injunction. The actual merits of the program itself are under attack as well. DACA's in front of the same judge who's been hostile to it before. We'll see what kind of ruling he makes this time. I'm not optimistic. We were hoping, obviously, that Congress would come together in some kind of bipartisan bill, but that's just not the way things are right now, unfortunately. So they're only taking renewals at this point. So if you have DACA, please continue to renew that. All right, Nancy, if I am 21, what do I need to start a petition for my parents? Yeah, so if you're a 21-year-old U.S. citizen and you want to petition for mom and dad, that's great. You are an eligible petitioner to help them. However, this is the caution I give to everybody in this exact situation, because I talk to numerous ones, hundreds a month, I would say, in this exact same position. If your parents came in with a visa, they need to be able to prove that. That's awesome. You can help them adjust their status here. If they did not come in with a visa and they don't have any exception to that, and they have like a 10-year immigration bar from that unlawful presence they have, then you're not going to be able to help them get all the way to residency as it stands now. They need a waiver. They need some kind of pardon for the illegal presence in the U.S. Those types of waivers are available, but you have to have a qualifying relative. You are not a qualifying relative for your parents for the waiver, unfortunately. The only qualifying relatives for those is a spouse with status, so if they're married to somebody, resident or citizen, or if they have a parent with status, so it would be your grandparent, I guess. If they have a parent with status, then you have to prove a hardship to that qualifying relative. So that knocks out a lot of these applications, unfortunately. And so I constantly find myself as the messenger of that sort of bad news for people that have been waiting for their child to turn 21. Thanks for following us. I see some follows in there. I appreciate it. There's a lot of follows. Nice to see you guys. All right. Nirvani, what happens if I mailed my 751? So that's obviously the petition to remove conditions on your 2-year conditional residency. You just wait. You wait to get a decision. They may or may not choose to do an interview. They're starting to waive a lot of marriage-based adjustment interviews. Some 751s do get pulled for interviews if they see something in your background that they want to check, but you just got to kind of wait. Looks like Chicago's in the house. That's great. Awesome. Love the city of Chicago. All right. Why is there so much delay on a U visa? Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a delay on everything in immigration, but particularly when you're talking about a U visa, it's because there is a statutory limitation on how many applications they can approve per year, and that is set at a cap of 10,000 per year in the U.S. So once they grant 10,000 for the year 2023, no more grants until 2024, then 10,000 more. And so if you're applying for the U visa, you're kind of in a line behind all these other people, and you're 10,000 next year, 10,000, and it just goes on and on like that. So, we're seeing the backup be somewhere between 5 and 7 years. Now, you can get a work permit during that time. It'll take you some time, but you can get a work permit. But the actual U visa approval itself is going to take you around 5 to 7 years. All right. Everyone joining us out there, if you haven't followed us, please do so. If you need a consultation, wherever you may be, if you want to see us in person, if you want to do a virtual or phone consult, they are free for everybody, free consultations, okay? Whether you're here in Texas or you're in Chicago or New York or wherever you may be that you're joining us from and you need a consultation, call in to set that at 833-733-7878. Give us a call. And, bring whatever documents you have. We're meeting virtually, have them in front of you so we can go over them in an efficient manner, and we'll be happy to, assist you where we can. Also, let's like the live. Let's get that up there a little bit. We got almost 2.4, looks like 2.4 thousand likes. Let's get that up there. We get these things almost 25,000 likes while I'm rambling on and on and on these things. Kind of, there you go. It's the motivation meter. See the motivation meter. See that there. Now I want to keep going. Boom, 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 boom. Keep me going. There we go. All right. Carmen, do deportation orders turn into warrants? So it's not a warrant like you're thinking on a a state case where you have some kind of a bench warrant or an arrest warrant from a local police department or something. It's not the same. The order of removal itself would be sent to ICE. They would have notification of it. Now, whether they choose to execute that or not is based on them. Honestly, it's kind of a resources game. Do they have the resources to execute all orders of removal? It doesn't appear so where I'm sitting from. But, every case is different. It's not to say they're not going to try to execute that one. But, from what I see, they just don't have the resources to execute these things. How long does it take for a 485? So an adjustment of status, we'll say it's taking around 12 months. That's a good estimate. Las Vegas in the house. Good to see you. Why are they taking 36 months for a waiver? Almost all of this is a remnant of what happened in 2020 when they shut everything down due to the perceived threat of the pandemic, the quote unquote pandemic. The perceived threat of that, they shut down all the offices and they weren't processing new applications for anything, waivers included. People kept filing new waivers. Now, with a waiver, an immigration officer is making kind of a subjective determination, right? It's not just okay, yes, you do have somebody who's willing to petition for you, check the box, you're approved. No, they're making a determination. Does your hardship rise to a certain level? Whatever that officer thinks that level should be, he'll grant or deny it. So he's making some kind of a subjective determination that's going to slow things down. Waivers are typically many more documents to review than, say, a simple I-130 or something like that. So it's a slower process already. And then things just got incredibly backed up when they stopped working for almost 12 months, starting in March of 2020. Okay? Hope that helps. I mean, it's too bad. I mean, that's just what they're taking, though. I wish they would speed them up, but unfortunately, it's not the way it goes. All right. Can I be a contractor without a work permit? I can't really answer your question like that. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a work permit, you're not legally supposed to be working in the United States. So not really a question I can answer for you. Thanks for following. Appreciate it. All right. Married to someone who crossed the border illegally 20 years ago. I'm a U.S. citizen. We have 3 kids. Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like you might have a residency process available to you. If he came in, if your husband came into the United States without inspection, no visa, and they've been here ever since. So they just entered once, 20 years ago, been here ever since. Now married to you as a U.S. citizen. Let's say his background's clean as well. Then you have to start off obviously by filing your initial family-based petition for him. Showing that you want to be the petitioner for him. Now he has this unlawful presence on his background. So unless he meets some kind of a qualification, he's going to need most likely a waiver so that he doesn't have to live outside the country for 10 years. That waiver would be available because this is your spouse. So you're a qualifying relative for that waiver. So that would be kind of your second step. You're going to want to work up one of these 601A waivers, most likely. Obviously, I don't know your background entirely. And if it gets approved, he no longer has that 10-year bar. He can go to consular processing at that point. It takes a while to go through that process, but worthwhile. We've helped many people with that type of a thing. Okay. How competitive is it to enter the paralegal field? It just depends on what exactly you want to do. There's a lot of opportunities out there in different fields of law. If you're talking specifically on the immigration fields, there are opportunities out there to learn. So obviously, anybody that shows an aptitude and a willingness to learn, that's the important part. Okay, that's the most important part. Is that your willingness to learn. Start at the beginning. Learn the proper procedures on on the way things work and where things can end up. And if you have that attitude, I have no doubt you'll be successful on something, paralegal or otherwise. Looks like we got a lot of potential paralegals out there. It's good to see. All right. A lot of questions on processing time I'm seeing. So processing time. So what I can say is I can sit here and parrot to you what I think, how long things are going to take. But the best possible way you can look at these things is go to USCIS's website. If you go directly to USCIS's website and enter what process you have and where you're filing, then they will give you an estimated wait time. And you're going to find out how long they expect to take on these processes. Okay. So do we do online consultations for people in other states? Yes, absolutely. So we have clients all over the United States, and we do virtual, which are, usually through, video, Google Teams, Zoom, something like that. We also do phone consultations, but they're free of charge. So you just got to call in and set your appointment. Let me give you the number here, and I think Frank has been pinging it out, but he'll ping it out again. 833-733-7878. So you can call that number or go to our website, attlaw.com, and set your appointments. There it is. There's Frankie pinging it out right there. So set your appointment with us, and we'll be happy to talk to you. Okay. Let's like it. Like. You just do this. Simple. Watch this. Boom. There. See? Watch. Boom, there it is again. Let's get some more likes up there. We got 5,500. That's pretty good, but we need to keep it going. Need to get it up there. That's my motivation meter. Obviously motivated to help everybody I can anyways. But thanks for following, Amy. Appreciate it. If you called our office and they said they only did in-office appointments, that was true earlier, but we've now been able to get back on top of our casework. And so we're able to help people again all over the U.S. There are periods of time when we have to stop taking new clients throughout the year. Right now we're not. We have the availability. We have the team to help. We're ready. So if you guys want to give us a call wherever you may be, we'll be happy to do a consultation with you. All right. Yeah, processing times absolutely keep changing, always, and not changing in a good way usually. Yeah, if estimated wait time's already passed, that's not unusual. Again, dealing with efficiency of a government agency, which you can imagine where that's going to go. Right? Not too efficient, just for anybody not catching that. Beto Guerrero, my parents have been here for 25 years. I'm a citizen. How can I help them? So if they came in without a visa, you're only going to be able probably to help them with a portion of their process. If they have this unlawful presence and they have a 10-year, then they most likely have a 10-year immigration bar. And if that's the case, the only way to take care of that 10-year immigration bar is A, actually serving it, going outside the country and waiting for 10 years, or B, filing a waiver, a perdón. However, you can't help them with that waiver. A lot of people think that, okay, I'm ready to help my parents. They can't help them with the waiver. That's not something they can do. Only people that can help with that waiver is if you have a spouse with status, that can be your qualifying relative, or if one of your parents have status, that can be your qualifying relative. Your qualifying relative is not your child 21 years or older U.S. citizen. They can only do that initial residency petition. They still got that 10-year bar problem. All right? All right. No visa. Yeah, sorry, Beto. Yeah, I mean, look, you're in the position of a lot of people. I talk to, it's got to be hundreds a month in this exact same position, whether, me and the other senior attorneys are sitting down for consultations in our offices, or we're doing a phone or a virtual consult. This is a common situation. I know there's a lot of kind of misinformation out there and people don't quite understand, who can qualify for these waivers and what they can do. But, that unfortunately, that's just the reality of it. Rebecca, my ex-husband used me for a green card and left me with credit card and tax debt. I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds that's a bad situation. Obviously, if you were able to get your ex-husband residency, it could have been, if it was a conditional residency, it would be good for 2 years. He's going to be required to file, in 2 years, he's going to be required to file a certain form to remove those conditions to actually become a permanent resident. And that's when they get a second bite at the apple. So if you guys are separated or divorced, they're going to have a lot of questions. And if he's a citizen now, it's going to be difficult for you to do anything, really. So it's been a little too long there. My husband has a deportation. It's been over 10 years, and he has a misdemeanor. I mean, are you talking about he's been 10 years, he's been outside the country? Because if he was deported and he had a 10-year immigration bar, the only way his 10-year bar ran is if he stayed outside the country. Okay, if he had a 10-year bar and he's still here, it's not running. There's no, that clock never started. He has to prove he's been outside the country for 10 years before he makes another application with immigration. Can I sue him for taxes and credit card debt? I mean, you can sue people for almost anything. It just depends on what evidence you have. If you were jointly liable for it, there's probably limited things you can do. But obviously, I don't know your situation too well, so I don't want to pontificate on it much here. If you're jointly liable, it's going to be difficult. But if you can prove somehow these were separate burdens and now you're getting stuck with it, maybe you have a case. Maybe you have a cause of action. But again, it's a litigious society. You can sue people for almost anything. It doesn't necessarily make it a good idea. It's a bad situation. Sometimes there's just not any legal recourse. Sometimes, as bad as things are, it's just best to focus on your life and go down the road. I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I obviously don't know your situation, but sometimes, when people can't let go of a burden and they have these things and they want to keep pushing things forward, it just starts to weigh them down much more than it absolutely should. So good luck to you. Frankie, can I there's water on this table. You can grab a towel or something.
Yeah, I got it.
Paper towel for it. It's going to come spill off. And there we go. All right, so what are we at? 8.6 thousand likes. There we go. I think we can get some more. Get some more likes, get some more follows. I think we can make that happen. Can I adjust status through marriage to a citizen if I worked without permission? So yeah, you still could. You could still be eligible for, let me get that out of here right there. You still could. The one thing that would prevent you, though, is if you ever represented yourself as a U.S. citizen. So if you didn't do that, though, then just working without permission is not a bar or anything like that to seeking residency or adjusting your status, provided you make all the other things you qualify for, okay? Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it.
Wipe out?
Yeah, awesome. These little bottles, like when you grab them on the top, they're just like, bam!
It's happened to me quite a bit.
It's just, it'd be nice to be able to open a bottle without just getting soaking wet. These bottles. All right. Yeah, we help with asylum cases for sure. So, obviously when you're talking about an asylum case, every case is a little different. Everybody's story is a little different. You have to show that you, face persecution on some kind of protected ground. And so there's a lot that goes into it. Now, whether you're doing an affirmative one or a defensive one and you're in immigration court, obviously that's going to make a difference on where you're filing it. If you need to contact us and you want to do a consultation, all right, 833-733-7878. Okay, here it is again, 833-733-7878. If you call the number, call center agents will pick up your call. They'll set you for a consultation, whether that's, if you're not in our area, it's on the phone or virtually. We'll meet you online and we'll talk about everything in a very confidential manner, If you want to come to one of our offices, obviously see us in person. We'd be honored for that. Just give us a call. Thanks for the likes. We're over 10,000 now. We can keep it going. I'm going to be continuing to answer questions here. If you guys ever need more information on us, though, attlaw.com. We are there. Please feel free to go to our website. All right. How long does it take for a permanent resident to adjust a spouse that came in with a visa? So you can't. All right. To have your spouse adjust for status, you would have to be a U.S. citizen, not a permanent resident. So you have to be in what they call the immediate visa category, and that's only available for a U.S. citizen. So if you're you would have to first take that step to become a naturalized U.S. citizen, and once you do that, then you can help your spouse adjust to their status. Otherwise, they're going to have to go through consular processing, okay, which means they'd have to leave the United States for a portion of their residency process. All right. How long do parole in place take? Depends on what type of parole you're doing, but they could take, up to 12 months, something like that. That's a good estimate. Let me see what's going on here. Make sure I don't have any fire, no fire. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, awesome. Keep going. Elvira, I have DACA and I'm married. Can my U.S. citizen brother sponsor me? Yeah, absolutely. So, having DACA is not a direct pathway, obviously, to residency or citizenship. So it's just a deferred action. So if you want residency, you're still going to need a petitioner for you. So a U.S. citizen's sibling can obviously file a petition for you. Just be aware that they are taking a very long time for those F4 category ones to get all the way through to the end. So it takes a while. All right. A lawyer filed asylum without telling me while I was under 18 and it got denied after multiple times. Yeah, I'm not sure what the question is there. I'm not sure if you're facing immigration court or what the situation is. If you need our help or an opinion on it, obviously feel free to reach out to us, set a consultation. If your joint sponsor makes more than your U.S. spouse, would that be okay for submission? I mean, it all depends on what amounts we're talking. They obviously have to reach the amount to sponsor somebody jointly. So it'd be your petitioner plus the income of whoever your joint sponsor is. And if they both together meet the requirement, you're good to go. Yeah, Elvira. So it would not help speed up the wait time on a residency petition through a sibling, but the advanced parole is a good idea. You know, if you have DACA and you're going to travel, that way you can take care of your. If you had an entry into the U.S. without a visa, maybe even when you were a child, this will help take care of that, so that if you ever do become, you know, if that petition ever makes it all the way up there, you know, you've taken care of one hurdle you have there. You don't have an illegal entry anymore. So it's a good idea, but it's not gonna speed up the processing times or the priority date on an I-130. You got it, no problem. My wife is pregnant in Mexico after filing an I-130. What do I do? I mean, not much to do. Just you know, wait. Soon as the I-130 gets approved, you're obviously going to be moving on to the consular process. There's not any way to expedite that just based on her being pregnant. But congratulations. That's right. Yeah, give us a follow. That way you don't miss these lives. You don't miss our super fun TikToks. And if you guys haven't liked this already, like it. Hell, if you've already liked it, like it again. Like it 10 times. It'll get it up there. What are we at, 11,000? Let's go. Let's put those quarters in the jukebox. Keep this thing going. There we go. Thanks for following. Appreciate it. See some follows out there. Yeah, I mean, so to hire us, so number one, you'd want to set a consultation, obviously, so we can to talk to you. You'd give us a call, 833-733-7878. Me or one of the other attorneys are going to call you and talk to you directly. Or if you come to our office, we'd obviously be there. So then once we talk to you, we'll identify whatever strategy, if you do have one, or what type of a case you have. We'll explain it as clear as we can. We do a free consultation. You'll get through this. If we can't help you, we will let you know right there. And then, you know, obviously you haven't paid anything, but at least you will understand where you're sitting. You know, it'll sort of be like this, only a lot more advanced, because it'll be a one-on-one and we'll talk to you. If we can help you, we'll also tell you that. Now, I also saw a question about payment plans. For sure. We offer payment plans for everybody. You know, we're a big firm. I know you guys see me a lot, but there's actually a lot of people behind the scenes that help here. That's the way we're able to take a lot of cases. You know, I'm just sort of out front here, but the team we have is amazing. We are able to offer payment plans, no interest payment plans for people that fit their monthly budgets, and we're able to work with them right away. And so that's the reason why we've been able to help so many people, especially the ones that are, you know, just coming into the United States, trying to get established in a new country. We understand how it is. Thanks, Wolf, liking it 100 times. Appreciate you. Appreciate the help. There, I give myself a like there. If that's legal. 12.9 thousand likes. That's looking good. We need to get that up a little bit more. Thanks for the follows. All right. Let me keep trying to answer some of these that got by. Options for individuals who have a legal entry. DACA, not married, no kids over 21. Parents are U.S. citizens. Okay. I mean, your parents can file a petition for you, obviously, but, you know, again, it's going to take a while. So they can file that petition, but it's all based on priority dates. Priority dates from a petition from a parent to a child who's already an adult, who already reached the age of majority. It's going to take a while. So you can go to the Visa Bulletin. They release one. The Department of State releases one every month. You can look on there and see how long they're taking, but a long time. Outside of that, that's probably pretty much your only option from what I'm looking at. My husband was told not to apply for the forgiveness waiver. What is the approval rate? Well, so I mean, obviously, I don't know your case. So what you do is you have to be able to show that there's a hardship to your qualifying relative. So obviously I don't know your case. National approval rates, I don't know what they are, 50% or so. I'll say our approval rates are way higher than that, but that's just because we do the background work. We put in the time, we work with the clients directly. You know, we walk you through to understand what your hardships are. And we put together kind of a package to look into what the whole family situation looks like. So those approval rates are much, much higher, but you know, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get through it. All right. If you guys are just jumping on here, give us some likes. We're only at 13,000. It just seems like not enough. Not enough for all this stuff. For all this time I'm putting in here. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it. Thanks, Brendan. Wait times for a 601A, 24 to 36 months is what the government website says. It could take a little longer, could be a little less, but that's probably relatively accurate. I'll say a 2 to 3 year processing. There we go. The likes are coming. Appreciate it. Can always do better. All right. If immigration was denied, do you have to file divorce? Not following the question. So, I mean, one really doesn't have much to do with the other, okay? But no, I mean, just because if you're petitioning for a spouse and for some reason immigration denies a petition, they can't force you to get divorced from your spouse, obviously. They have no control over that. That's a state thing. Husband was fighting withholding. Okay, case got dismissed. He has 2 deportations. I'm a U.S. citizen. You know what you need to go to a consultation because your case is a little bit more complicated. You might not be able to petition for him if they're outright expedited removals or deportation in a certain way. I mean, not all deportations are the same. We would really want to look into that to see if you are able to help him. You might not be able to. Just because his immigration court case was dismissed doesn't necessarily mean he has a pathway to residency. I'm seeing the immigration court do that a lot. We'll be able to help people. We do a lot of immigration courts. It's in fact one of the main things we do here. We do a lot of immigration court. We're able to help people get out of immigration court, but it doesn't necessarily leave them any pathway. It's a little frustrating. It's good and bad. Good that they're no longer facing the imminent threat of deportation. We get the government to drop the case in a lot of instances, but it doesn't leave them a pathway necessarily to do anything beyond that. You might be in that situation. Your husband might. 216 Mexico, how can I become a citizen if I was brought here at 3 years old, missed out on applying for DACA? I mean, the first step is to look for if you can become a resident of the U.S. That's your first step. You have to first become a resident. Once you're a resident after a certain number of years, if you prove you have a good background, then you apply for naturalization to become a citizen. To become a resident through family-based means you do need some kind of petitioner. You need somebody that a close family member, spouse with status, child over the age of 21 with status, parent, sibling with status that can petition for you to help you in your process. I'm a permanent resident. I asked for my husband and daughter. How long does the process take? It depends on their situation. So if they entered with a visa and you're a U.S. citizen, you're petitioning for them, I would say the adjustment of status process is around 12 months. If they did not enter with a visa, then it depends. Are they outside the country? Are they here? Really depends on what you need to do. Consular processing is going to take a little bit longer than an adjustment of status, okay? All right. They're in Mexico. Yeah, so I mean, you're going to have to file the first... obviously, the first family-based petition, that's going to take you around 12 months to get an approval. Then you're going to have to work with the National Visa Center to set them up with a consulate appointment in Juarez. I would say probably around 3-year processing time to get all the way through. Are we handing out green cards and EADs?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Sent adjustment of status marriage package 55 days ago. Received notice, but biometrics not scheduled yet. What to do? Nothing. So what you have right now is you just have a receipt that they actually received your package. That's the initial thing you're going to get, a little I-797 that's showing you got that. You're waiting for, obviously, biometrics and things like that. If it's an adjustment of status, I would say it's going to be around a 12-month processing time. Okay, so nothing to do. Just make sure your address is updated, okay? Penelope, is there a way to expedite the 601A? It's been since August 2022. No, there's not. And what I'll tell you is a 601A processing time is going to take you at least 24 to 36 months. So you still have a little bit of time to wait. You haven't even got to the 12-month mark. So unfortunately, it's just going to take a while. That's just how far behind they are on these things, okay? I know it's easy to say, but patience, okay? Let's keep liking this. You just tap the screen like that. Let me see. Tap the screen. There you go. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. We get some likes going, and we get some more follows out there. If you guys are just jumping on here, obviously we appreciate the follows. Good way to also reach out to us on social media. It's hard to track on TikTok always because people are jumping all over your videos and putting in questions. I mean, the team doesn't necessarily follow those as much, but on Instagram's a good way to direct message. So if you go to Instagram and follow, thanks for the follows here. If you go to Instagram and follow us, there's a little, it's the same handle as we have here. But if you follow us there, easier to direct message. Frankie, me, or the team's going to be looking at those things. We try to respond to all of them that we see. But you got to be following us to submit a direct message to us. All right. About how much would it cost for my sister to request me? I came from Argentina with a visa in 2001. So it's going to take, first of all, it's going to take a while, right? So they have to first do the family-based petition. And once that's done, you're going to wait for a priority date. Those are taking a long time, 10, 15 years. So I can't really answer you on cost because everybody's a little bit different, depending on your situation. All right. Yep, absolutely. Go to the bio. You'll see us there. If you want everyone to get any more information about the firm, obviously you can go to attlaw.com. You can get some information on some of our attorneys. The attorneys you see there, most of the ones you'll see appearing in court. The reason why we put them there is so that people recognize us when we show up to courts, and the various courts around the country that we're in. So you'll see some of the faces there. That's just a fraction of our team. We have a large team. We do amazing work. If you guys do need our help, wherever you may be, Texas or outside of Texas, anywhere in a U.S. jurisdiction, we can certainly help you. Just give us a call. There's Frankie pinging out the number. Call that number. They can set you for a free consultation, and we'll take it from there. We are located in Texas. All right. I've filed my renewal of a green card last year. It's over a year now. How long's the waiting time? Yeah, so I mean that's not atypical. You're dealing with the normal processing times. So if you guys go to USCIS's website, USCIS, you just Google that. You can go to their website. You can check on processing times for every specific process for like an I-90 or something like that. You can check on it and where you filed it. It'll give you how long. And a lot of times it's even longer than what they're telling you. Okay. How long does the pardon usually last? So I'm not sure what the question is. If you're asking how long the processing time for one of those is, around 24 to 36 months. But in this, if you're asking if it erases the penalty, if you have a 10-year immigration bar and you qualify, it will erase those 10 years. So you don't have to spend them outside the country. All right. We're getting close. Almost 17,000 likes. So I feel like we should be way over 20,000 likes right now. That's what I feel like. What do you think, Frankie? We should be over that by now, right?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Should be over that. Come on. There we go.
I think you should just stand there until it's 20.
Yeah. I won't talk any further until we get to 20,000. I don't think I can do that. It's like a staring contest with myself. There we go. We're getting them up there. They're coming through. Can a deportation order go away on its own? No, cannot. It's going to be there pretty much forever unless you do something about it. You can't always do something about it, but you might be able to. It just depends on your situation and how you got it. There we go. The likes keep coming. We appreciate that. What happens at the time of applying for citizenship if I have a DWI and I'm a permanent resident? So, I mean, it depends on what you got. So you got a DWI. Obviously, every state is different on how they charge those things. I mean, Texas has their own way to charge them. Every other state has their own way to charge those things. What they're looking for is essentially a clean background. You can certainly become a naturalized U.S. citizen with a DUI. If you're charged with, let's say, a misdemeanor C here in Texas or something, you can still do that. They do want to see about a 5-year window where you don't have any convictions, though. So depending on when you had that happen, you might want to wait until 5 years after the conviction. Arkansas, awesome. Love the state of Arkansas. I went to school there. My mom, who's on here right now, she's from Arkansas. Great state. Spent a lot of time up there as a kid. All right. Can you help with the UK work visa? So, I mean, we don't typically, yeah, hi, Mom. Thank you. I think she's on there still. Anyways, so we don't typically do like non-immigrant visas. So we mostly do, family-based, like permanent immigration solutions. So if you're talking about coming to the U.S. just on a tourist visa, a student visa, or just like a work visa, that's not something that you typically need a lawyer for. If it's something through a company or something, you'd need to seek an employment immigration attorney that works with the Department of Labor. All right, we used to do those things. We got our hands full with family-based immigration. I would say mostly with immigration courts. We're one of the few firms that defend people facing deportation. And I might say we do a pretty good job of it. I came to the U.S. with a tourist visa and went back, but used an address. So this time I want to use a hotel. So need your advice. I'm not sure what the advice is. Sorry. Can't help you there. That's right, Frankie. Damn right we do. Do a good job on this stuff. Do you do waivers for inadmissibility? Of course. So I'd say a lot of this live I've probably spent talking about waivers, various waivers in immigration, but absolutely we do them. We have a pretty high approval rate on them too. We work really closely with our clients on what's the reason that they need a waiver for, and how can we get around that bar, whatever it may be. So, we obviously, that's what our free consultation's for. We talk to everybody, we get their background, we get their timeline of entries and exits from the United States, what potential petitioners or qualifying relatives they have. We put together a strategy for you. If there's not one, if there's some bar in your path, we're going to tell you that right there in the consultation, just so you know. You go away, we won't be able to take you as a client because of these reasons, but at least you have that knowledge. And obviously you can go seek a second and third opinions out there. It's always a good idea, but at least you have the knowledge of what we told you, so that if you do go to a lawyer and they're saying, yeah, I can help you, at least you can ask them the questions, well, how can you help me if I was told these things? And they'll have, then you can judge for yourself what's the smart way to go. Okay, we just do honest consultations, that's it. And that's why we don't charge people for them. Can't help everybody, unfortunately. I wish I could, but we just can't. We got to work within the law. We do take cases outside of Texas. We take cases all over the United States. Just give us a call. We do virtual or phone consultations. They're free of charge. I think they do have some appointments available still. Not sure about this week. You might have to wait till next week. I don't know exactly the calendar. But if you give them a call, they'll be happy to talk to you. 833-733-7878. All right. Nick, F4 priority date, March 2012. How long is the wait? If you go and Google the visa bulletin, you'll be able to see. So it depends on your country of origin, but let's say that this is like Mexico. Then the wait, they're processing petitions that were filed in 2001 and before. So what is that? Like a 22-year wait? But I mean, depends on your country of origin. Go to the visa bulletin and you can get your answers right there. Is there a waiver for entering the country illegally? Yes, but you have to have a qualifying relative, okay? Got to have a spouse with status. You got to be married to a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident, or you have to have a parent with status, legal permanent resident or U.S. citizen. Is anybody out there in the Dallas area? Looks like we got a lot of people outside, but anybody out there in the Dallas area? Let me tell you, it's wild weather out there today. Pretty crazy. It's how thankfully cleared up. Dallas, there we go. Dallas in the house. That was crazy weather we got earlier. Insight. So I'm like the coach of my little daughter's soccer team, which is crazy because I don't know much about soccer, but I'm just trying to organize them. And she's going to be disappointed because her game is canceled. I'll have to tell her that later. It's going to be our last game too. Rivalry game for first graders. No, we don't have an office in Miami. I'll tell you, I practiced in Miami for a very long time. I was doing commercial litigation down there. I was in the Brickell area. So we do take cases down there. I have a lot of very good friends who practice in South Florida still. I have a lot of connections, a lot of contacts in South Florida. So if you guys need our help, obviously give us a call. I'm very familiar with the Miami immigration courts and USCIS as well. Sorry, Dania. Not sure. Can't speak. I'll check with them. But I do know there's some appointments available. I thought there was. Maybe there's not. Give us a call, though. Do I foresee I-130 processing times going down soon? No, I don't. Things are getting longer than they used to, not the other way around. They're not necessarily hiring new immigration officers to process new stuff. So things are just getting longer than they used to be. Okay, so processing times are getting longer. So if you're waiting to see if processing time goes down, I just don't think it's going to happen. You just kind of, at this point, got to get in and just wait the time. All right. Can I still file even though my husband and I just got separated? So no. I mean, technically, can you file if you're married? Yes. Will it be approved? No. You have to have an intact marriage. Okay. So I would definitely not recommend it. We're over 20,000. There we go. That's great. Thanks, Dania, for the heads up there. Over 20,000 likes. We can keep it going, though, I think. I've been on here a while, so. All right, give myself 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. All right, so there's a couple of questions out here about processing times. Best way to check processing times is to go to USCIS. Go to their website, USCIS, United States Immigration Services. Okay, go to their website, Citizenship and Immigration Service. Go to their website, and you're going to find that you can enter what petition you want to see, where you filed it, and it'll give you their estimated wait times. Right? Dania, they might waive the interview. They're starting to waive a lot of interviews. I haven't necessarily heard about that specific process, but what I'm trying to tell you is they're trying to get caught up with the resources they have. So they're not necessarily adding new resources. So they can only do limited things to try to get caught up on petitions. And one of them is starting to waive interviews. All right, so they very well might. And there's another question. Do they waive the interview if medical wasn't submitted with the application, marriage-based? So yeah, I mean, that's typical what you're saying because people don't necessarily always submit the medical exam with their initial adjustment of status because we know that the medical exam could expire and they'll ask you to do another one. So, you would have to obviously respond to an RFE and then submit it. Yes, they could still, and they probably still will, waive your interview at this point. So that doesn't necessarily make a determination there, okay? Asylum, derivative, divorce while pending an EAD. Filed concurrent marriage, adjustment of status. Am I working illegally? So your question is if you are, that's a multi-part question. I feel like it's some kind of a bar exam question I got to write out an essay to. So I'll try to follow you along here a little bit. So you were on an asylum application and you had filed for your work permit. That's what I'm guessing. And then you filed also to adjust your status as a resident. Do you have your EAD yet? No, and you were working anyways. Technically, yes, you were working without status. Doesn't mean that it's going to affect anything on your actual your actual grants of your petitions. Now the divorce is going to affect the adjustment of status, obviously. Okay. Oh, so you had one. So you're just getting divorced, but as long as you have the EAD and you're able to renew it, you're still working legally, right? My old lawyer got his lawyer license for fraud. What can I do? Not sure what your case may be. I mean, obviously you'd want to seek a consultation with somebody. Sorry you had those troubles though. All right, we can get it to 25,000 before I'll jump off of here. I've been on here a while. There's still a lot of people on, which is great. Hopefully I've answered most people's questions. I see there's still a lot coming through. Okay, I will answer. What person? They've been asking for 30 minutes. Who? What are we talking about here? Please answer that person. They've been asking who. Sorry, I'm missing it. Ask it again, whoever it may be. I'll try to answer, all right? All right, thanks. Frankie, be looking for that one. Let me know. Does it mean there's been a red flag on your application if you've been called for an interview? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. They do call certain types of processes for interviews often. They'll also randomly flag some. It may mean there's a red flag. Obviously, I don't know your background or what application you're talking about, but just getting an interview, not necessarily at all. A lot of people go through interviews. In fact, that was the norm until recently. What does a Venezuelan need to do to seek asylum? Same thing that anybody else needs to do to seek an asylum. You have to file the proper application for an asylum. Generally, you're going to want to file that within 1 year of entering the United States. There are some exceptions, but that's the general rule. You're going to want to file that if you do qualify for asylum. You face persecution on a protected ground, but it's the same process. So whether if you're in immigration court, you're going to file it at one place. If you're not in immigration court, you're going to file it at a different place. What's that?
I'm going to ping out the question you don't see.
All right, thanks. There's just so many getting thrown out here. I'll look for your ping, Frankie. Is that yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Can I give joint sponsor to someone if I am also applying to remove condition on my wife's green card? Okay. So the answer would be yes. So I'm taking this to mean you have status. You're helping your wife, right? And now you're asking if somebody who's not your wife, who's also got an immigration application, you're going to act as a financial co-sponsor. The answer is yes. Okay, but now you're technically sponsoring 2 immigrants, so your income level has to not be at the minimal level. It has to be enough to support 2 of them. If that's the case, for sure. I mean, you could technically sponsor 10, depending on your income levels. Okay, hope that answers the question. Can a Venezuelan seeking asylum enter through a U.S. airport? For sure, any port of entry. As long as you're in, you just got to be within the United States to file. Okay, whether you got here with a visa, without a visa, if you do qualify for asylum, you can absolutely submit the petition. So if you come through an airport, I'm guessing you're probably not going to be in immigration court, so therefore you would be filing an affirmative asylum, and you need to file that at a certain place. Okay, and again, remember that 1 year. You want to get it within 1 year if you can. Right, check USCIS for processing times. That's a good point there. Thanks for pointing that out. Can you file for citizenship for an SA case? Not sure what the question is there. I mean, if you qualify for naturalization, if you're asking us if we can help, of course. For sure. If you guys need a consultation, obviously give us a ring, 833-733-7878. Go to attlaw.com. There it is. Frankie pings it out. Give us a call. I want to get it to 25,000 likes. It's just, some ceiling I've got to break through every time. I don't have OCD, but if I did, I feel like that would be a number that needs to happen. All right. No. Keep liking. Don't listen to Dana. Keep liking. I'm almost talked out here. I feel like I just talk. Other people get tired of hearing me talk. So in my office, I sit here and meet with people and talk, phone, meeting with people. And here I am, talking. I'm surprised my voice is hanging in there. Getting up there. We're getting up there. Thanks for liking it. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it, guys. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're all going to make it. Anon, I will answer your question if you ping it out again, all right? All right. Can a DACA be terminated with a deferred adjudication? So yeah, I mean, they're not going to necessarily go and terminate your DACA, but it would make it very difficult to renew it, depending on what we're talking about. Obviously, it's hard for me to sit there and answer your question directly, but DACA, you kind of got to have a completely clean record. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. And you're trying to rig the system against me. You're trying to keep me on here with like 24.9 thousand, so I have to keep talking. I'm going to lose my voice. When I have to break the news to my 6-year-old daughter that her soccer game is not happening because of the rain out there, how am I going to talk to her? I feel like she's going to cry. I feel bad. Yeah, give us a call. If you guys need a consultation, they're free. Just call us. You know, if you need a phone consultation, if you need a in-person consultation, wherever it may be, you know, obviously give us a call. All right. Yeah, a couple of those out there. Free consultations, guys. Just if you're going to come to a consult or we're going to call you at a consultation, just bring your paperwork with you. If you filed anything previously, have it with you. So if it's a phone consult, just have it in front of you. So we're able to easily ask you the questions. You can get the information to us. If it's a video one, you have it there. If you come in person, just bring it with you. If you're facing immigration court, same thing. Anything the government's given you, bring it. Whether you think it's relevant or not. It'll just help us get through it, and we'll be able to answer the questions, answer your questions that I'm sure you have. All right. All right, answer a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna get going. Thank you for that. Hello, sir. Can you answer me? My case is terminated, proceeding by a court judge in 2014. What can I do? So I mean, you know, you got to look at your background. So if your immigration court case has been terminated, that's a good thing. You know, it means that they're no longer seeking a deportation. There's no longer an active notice to appear against you in an immigration court. That's great. That leaves you free to file, if you do have some kind of petitioner that can file a residency for you, it leaves you free to do that without the burden of having any kind of removal order. All right. I think I'm talked out. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the likes. Everybody that has jumped on here, followed. The nice comments back and forth. I like the interaction, the engagement. I like that you guys are thinking. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Love you all. God bless you. Have a great week, okay?